Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. I was out riding this morning and I was running errands and I started thinking, which is something I do from time to time. Not all the time, but sometimes. Well, the IS300, if you'll look, the factory IS300 has a plug to the motor and a plug to an actual throttle position sensor. Well, I had all that plugged up when I had this style manifold on the 240. I got thinking, why do I gotta depin and repin that plug? So I got to digging, and the one that says, let me find it, somewhere down on there, it says TPS motor. Right there, or motor TPS or whatever. That actually fit the throttle position sensor, so there'll be no repinning of this. So now all I have to do is find one more screw, put my TPS in there, which it'll face down that way, hoping I'm having enough room, and so I won't have to depin that jewel. That's one less thing. So I have to make room, install this, pull the throttle body off, install this into this. I got my O2 sensor welded on. I took it to my muffler guy. We're gonna stick that on that bad boy. I've got to get the correct O2 sensor that reads your like a lambda meter. It's a 4.9, I think is what it is, that fits this harness. So I got to get the correct O2 sensor. I got that welded on. Throttle position's handled, I just got to put it on. Now that pulls me back to extending those two wires. And I need to check out in the car. I left the part out for the IAT. Left it out in the IS300 for Bud to pick up and weld that piece on. And I don't know that he's got to it yet. I hadn't even checked it, but if he has, that's one less thing. If he hadn't, I've got to find somebody else if he's not going to. So we'll have to go from there. But all right, that's where we're at with the S14. So all right, here we go. All right, to give you a better example of what I'm going for on the hood exit, since I got the O2 sensor welded on, I don't have the O2 sensor itself yet, but just so you can see, that's what's gonna happen. The O2 sensor will thread into here. This will plug into it. Somewhere down there, that wire from the O2 will come down, whatever will hide it. And at some point, we'll have to cut the hood to have that go through, but that's gonna be our hood exit for the turbo. And that's what we got right there. Just so you can see, we'll go to the passenger side and that's what you're gonna have. Should turn out okay. So, all right, here we go. All right, we're back at it again. Just a short little bit of something here where I've been working on it. So, I got the correct throttle position sensor plug. I decided, I think it was universal to where I could put it up or down. It feels like it's right. If not, I'll flip it over, but I put it up because if I put it down, facing downward, it would hide better and it probably would look a little better, but I don't know that I can get it unplugged from down there. So if I have to remove the throttle body for anything, that's gonna be a chore. I have to unhook the throttle or pull the throttle body to even get to being able to unplug it. And I could never, really just unplug it with it underneath. So went ahead and just did it that way. Throttle cable, you can see what I did, I took the factory throttle cable, this is actually the factory throttle cable, and I cut it off. I bought a kit that had this end on both sides and a cable ran through it. The piece that went from here to over there was too short and it wouldn't have bolted in. We can see where the 2 bolts are. It wouldn't have bolted in. So what I did is I took one of the ends off because they're loose on the black piece. So I cut my factory one short, cut the cable loose that was in it, pulled it back through, and took this cable and I went into the car and I fished it backwards through the factory cable. So you can hear the pedal in there. So this is a combination, we'll even call it a abomination of, I took, like I said, the factory cable from here that way, and I just took my cutters and I cut it off. It's a little long, but I want to keep it that way so it kind of tucks that way versus being, you know, up here because it's kind of frayed and it don't look fabulous. Inside it's perfect, outside it's a little skin up. So you can see there's no resistance. And so what I'll do, they got these little barrel things that you slip on and you put it where you need it, and they actually will go inside like there or down here. So they actually will slide on this and slide into place. And when you put your cable on and wraps down here, you'll be able to slide that to, you know, the correct fitting in your little barrel and tighten it down, and then you'll have a throttle cable. So I ordered a couple of those barrels. That's all that's left on the throttle cable because I'm confident that's going to be perfect. It does kind of pull kind of to the side, but I mean, I don't know how else to adjust it. Maybe if I let the bolts loose a little bit here, it'll give me a little more. Maybe it will round out one of the holes and turn it just a hair this way, because it does kind of pull a little bit to one side. You can see that. So we may adjust that, clock that bracket, that mount a little bit, just so it don't end up cutting right in that side. So with the throttle cable, throttle position sensor, the piece with the blow-off valve, I talked to my son, he's got it. He took it, or I took it by his work. They got it welded, it's finished. So running the intake air temperature to it, because the sensors actually will be mounted now. Finished plumbing, putting all the intercooler piping back together. I may be short a boot now that I think about it. A straight coupling, I think I am. I'll see if I've got it. I may have it actually. So finished the intercooler stuff. The IAT, I may have to still extend it. I'm trying to not. That's done. And the O2 sensor, and so we'll do some vacuum work and the stuff on the interior. So that's where I'm at with it. That's, yeah. And I got to put oil in it. Don't let me forget. I'm gonna take this cap off while I'm thinking about it. There's no oil in this engine. I changed it again. And you can see Wiring Specialties harness. These things are super, super nice, man. I got all the wires laid in there. Wiring Specialties. Everything looks great. So get closer all the time. Still got some little stuff, little things to do. I did pull the seat out. I put the seat up there on top of that thing, which, if you don't know, now you know. This thing's blown up again. That's 2 of those stock VVTi motors down the drain. So anyway, I got the seat out of this to try to put the gauges and stuff in. I'm getting ready to start that process. Getting ready to figure the dash out. I got another piece or 2 coming for the dash. And I drug out the non-VVTi motor to start getting ready to take the head off, so we can do a non-VVTi bottom end with a VVTi head. and put it back in the IS 300, and let's keep our fingers crossed that this motor's good. So yeah, we got that going on. Anywho, that's where I'm at with everything. Maybe we'll get some of this put together and get something running, ready to drift. I don't know. I'm working on it as I can with, like I'll find a piece to the puzzle and then put it in, install that part, and then I'm kind of waiting on either something to show up that I've ordered, or once I get a piece on, I don't know what I need next until I get that piece on to see where I'm going. But we're pretty close to wrapping this one up, I think. I don't know. We'll see when we get there, but hopefully it's not going to be a lot more troublesome. Hopefully we're there. We're pretty much there, I feel like. So yeah, I don't know. We get it running, start getting it tuned a little better, then we'll be able to test the transmission, because it's AR5 transmission. Don't forget we got an AR5 in this thing, so that's all new. It's a whole different machine than what it was before. It was the factory KA motor and transmission. Yeah, so I mean, now we're turbo 2J with AR5 transmission. It's almost ready. All right, here we go.
I'm feeling high.